You're watching this video for an obvious reason, okay? You saw the title or the thumbnail and you're like, what's going on? Well, a couple hours ago, news came out that the anime studio White Fox has been purchased by the publisher AlphaPolis. Now, if you don't already know, White Fox is the animation studio in charge of ReZero, among other things. They're doing Ugly Mug currently and possibly future projects in the future. At the moment, their main project is ReZero. However, things have definitely been shaken up a little bit. So, the acquisition date is set for September 30th. AlphaPolis is a light novel publishing company, just like Katakawa, who owns ReZero. Obviously, Katakawa also publishes all kinds of things, but AlphaPolis, from my understanding, is a significantly smaller company. But you might know them from works like Gate. I've never seen it or heard of it until today. Monster, I've watched like a couple episodes, it wasn't very good. They're not known for a lot. White Fox has been obtained by a significantly smaller company. Now, not to confuse people, Katakawa didn't own White Fox. Katakawa just worked with White Fox. White Fox was 100% owned by the CEO, Gaku, which is no longer the case. Along with this acquisition, White Fox also published the numbers that they were pulling. Barely a profit margin, which is normally the case for animation studios to my knowledge. And it generally means that if you're going to lump sum purchase something that doesn't make a lot of money, you're going to have a specific vision in mind for it. Ice, who also sent me this document, by the way, which I appreciate, went through and looked at the numbers. The studio boasted around $5 million in sales last year, with around $8.8 million forecast for this year. Despite that, like many animation studios, they retained very slim profit margins, numbering under $100,000, with a meager 30,000 USD forecast for 2025. So the primary reason why you would buy a company that's making $30,000 of profit a year is because you're going to transform it. Maybe transform's not the right word, but you're not just going to let it continue as is. And I believe AlphaPolis has stated as such in their press release. Specifically, they want to use White Fox to really establish their own IPs, really work on their own stuff, quote-unquote prioritize high-quality visuals, which obviously every company is going to say, because you're not going to buy a company and go, you know what, I think that we're going to make some dog shit with this one. I think we're really going to pump out some straight ass. So, White Fox, the animation studio with ReZero, has been acquired, and it's probably going to transform internally at this point. Maybe that's too much of an assumption, but again, you don't purchase it for no reason. They're going to start probably working on AlphaPolis production as soon as possible. I imagine Katakawa is not necessarily thrilled, but like Ice claims, it was completely bought out. I don't know if Katakawa really had much to say about it. You know, you can't really just go, hey, you're working on one of our projects, that means that we can intervene in your purchase. So, obviously, with White Fox now being under potentially new management, people are going to have a lot of questions about the ReZero anime. And one thing I want to get out of the way immediately, a lot of people are going to say a lot of things about this in the coming days, okay? A lot of people are going to have a lot of ideas about what this means, and I will tell you this now, most people are just lying. A lot of people don't know what is going to happen. If it comes from someone familiar with the industry, or if it comes from someone like Ice, that's probably worth more to listen to. But any of these armchair industry experts, even including myself, don't take their word at face value because they don't know what's going to happen. But I think what's safe to do at this point is to answer a few questions that people might have. The first question is ReZero Season 4 now cancelled because of the purchase? And the obvious answer here is no. That would never happen in a million years. I imagine whatever is in the contract between the purchase for White Fox and AlphaPolis, I don't remember their fucking name. Okay, AlphaPolis includes that whatever projects they're currently working on, they get to keep working on. Because, you know, White Fox is also under contract with Katakawa. You can't necessarily just go, hey, you know, I kind of don't feel like abiding by the contract anymore. Unless White Fox isn't interested in even making $30,000 next year. Perhaps significantly in the red if they want to break the contract. ReZero Season 4 is probably, I don't know for sure, going to continue as is. And the worst thing that'll happen to it, which is not a good thing by the way, is that AlphaPolis will give White Fox new productions to start working on, which will negatively impact Season 4 because they want to prioritize their own IP over this Kadokawa IP. Because at the end of the day, AlphaPolis is a competitor or a rival to Kadokawa, but like I said on my Discord server, it's the same way that like itch.io is a competitor to Steam, okay? It's not on the same level. So no, Season 4 is definitely not going to be canceled. That's going to be fine. The second question is, what happens now? And like I said, anybody that thinks they can answer this probably can't. I don't know about you. I have seldom seen this happen. Not to say that I've been involved in the anime industry for a long time, but the closest analogy we have is when AOT was getting shopped around, right? WIT didn't want to work on AOT anymore. There was one season left, and they went to MAPPA. And, well, we know how that's going. Nobody truly knows what is going to happen with ReZero after this. Anybody that says they do, just speculation. But Season 4 is still going to be White Fox. The most likely scenario is that Season 5 could change. But we don't know. There are 3 options for what happens next, right? Option 1, White Fox somehow keeps ReZero. I'm starting to think this is the least likely option. White Fox keeping ReZero would mean that they are working on ReZero alongside whatever projects White Fox wanted to work on that haven't been announced already, unless somehow AlphaPolis is like axing them, which I'd be surprised. And they would also have to work alongside AlphaPolis Productions, which would mean that ReZero is going to, not even just ReZero, but the whole White Fox team is going to be stretched so incredibly thin that it's not even funny. Probably not a good solution. And also, I don't think it's particularly likely, the more I think about it. I really don't think that Kadokawa is going to want to keep, their biggest moneymaker. Yeah, just throw it to the wolves. I can't help but think how funny it is that ReZero is one of Kadokawa's biggest moneymakers, and that you have the 4-year gap between Season 1 and 2. And then COVID hits, which causes massive production strain on Season 2. And which then causes Season 2 to have to be core split, right? Which then causes another 4-year gap between Season 2 and 3 because White Fox collapsed. Which then causes more production issues with Season 3, which then causes a Season 3 core split, which then causes a Season 3 and Season 4 split, and now White Fox has been acquired by a different company. ReZero is like the most cursed fucking IP in existence. Anyway, the second option, in my opinion here, a new studio for ReZero. A lot of people are gonna say, oh my god, it's gonna be Cygames or fucking whatever studio does Shield Hero. I don't remember, they were just talking about it in my Discord, but I forget. Oh my god, it's gonna be MAPPA. Nobody knows. Straight up, nobody knows. And I think part of what's worrying about this, Attack on Titan was exceptionally difficult to shop around because you have this monster of an IP, right? A complete monster of an IP that has such a dedicated fan base, that has so many expectations. Nobody wanted to take it because it's already been established. You don't get to try your own vision or identity for the show. A lot of people didn't want to accept it, except for MAPPA, because, they'll take fucking anything, it seems. But Attack on Titan at least had the benefit of the fact that it was ending. Attack on Titan was ending. So there was an end in sight. A new ReZero studio might be difficult to obtain, because ReZero is going to go on for an indefinite amount of time. It's an extremely expansive series. You have to worry about all the side content. You have to worry about the giant scale of the series that hasn't even been adapted yet. And just like Attack on Titan, you have to worry about what people already expect and come to know from ReZero. I don't think finding a new ReZero studio is going to be nearly as straightforward as some people make it out to be. But ultimately, Kadokawa will want to give it to someone. Will it be a prestige studio? I don't know. Nobody knows. But if they can't find a prestige studio, it might just go to some bottom-of-the-barrel slop fucking studio. But let's just hope that doesn't happen. The third and final option, currently I think this is the least likely because, like we talked about, ReZero is a moneymaker. There will be no more ReZero anime. I don't think this is going to happen. Just to continually iterate so people don't take me out of context here. This would be in the instance that they can't find a new studio, or they're in shopping purgatory, or whatever you want to call it, that ReZero just doesn't get picked up. And Season 4 is unfortunately where it ends off. I don't think this is the case. I think we'll probably find a new studio. I just can't guarantee the studio quality. Ultimately, they'll want to keep ReZero running. They're not just going to let it go quietly into the night. It's big, uncharted territory, I would say. Nobody truly knows what's going to happen. But what I will say, my baseline opinion, as someone who doesn't really know the precedents for this or what's going to happen, it's probably not good. And if you've watched my anime videos, which I'm sure some of you have, you'll know that I've had my criticisms of how White Fox has handled ReZero. Quite a few of them, in fact. But I think overall, this is probably, or it has the potential to be, a net negative. Whether it be staying with White Fox and they get slammed by all the projects they have to do, whether it be trying to find a new studio and all of the fuck-ups that can happen with that, or whether the anime just sort of ends, which I think would be the most depressing option. A lot of changes are potentially coming to the anime after Season 4, but no one knows what's happening, and we're all just gonna figure it out together, I guess. I just wanted to tap in and talk about it before any or too much misinformation spreads, because we don't know what's gonna happen. That's about it, though. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe for more. You can also check the description down below to become a member, which gives you benefits like early videos, membership badges, and cool custom emotes. You can join the Discord where we talk about ReZero, Kagurabachi, Jujutsu Kaisen, and all kind of stuff. Additionally, you can go to the channel store and pick up some awesome stickers made by our channel artist, so you can carry the power of Graphia with you on your water bottle. That's about it though. Thank you for watching. See ya.